All right, team, time for another reading warm-up with me. Get ready, let's jump on in. For our daily reading warm-up, what you're going to do, while you're reading during your independent reading time, you're going to start investigating lots of different words and looking at the separate speech sounds in these words. I want you to focus on 3 of them. So, we've got a graph. Okay, a graph is when one letter is making one sound. That's a very common speech sound, and you'll find it in lots of your words. The next one is a digraph. Now, a digraph means when 2 letters are making one sound, and you will remember this from term 1 when we went through it. The next one, okay, is a little bit trickier. It's called a trigraph. So that's when 3 letters join together to make one sound. So I want you to start looking for those in your reading. And when you come across a word that interests you, write it down and break it up into its separate speech sound. Let's have a look at the book we're reading today, Stefan and the Beetle. Let's look at the word beetle. So the word beetle has got b, e, t, ul, 4 sounds in it. But if I look down here, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 letters. So that means some of the letters are working together like a digraph to make the one sound. Let's investigate the word beetle. All right, let's start investigating the word beetle. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write the word beetle. Perfect. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sound out the word beetle, and every time I hear a new sound, I'm going to separate it. So I've got b, e, t, ul. Okay, how many sounds are in the word beetle? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 sounds. But I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 letters. So that tells me that some letters are working together. I can see here that the E's are working together. So that's a digraph. And the LE is working together also to make that sound ul. B, e, t, ul. 4 sounds. And the beetle. Stefan and the Beetle. One afternoon. Stefan saw a beetle. Ooh, let's have a look at the word saw. Now, I can see that the word saw is made up of an S, A, W, 3 letters. But saw is making s or 2 sounds. Let's investigate the word saw. Okay, that next word Miss Branch mentioned was saw. So I'm going to start by writing the word saw down. Perfect. 3 letters in the word saw, but I wonder how many sounds it's got. Let's break it up. S, or. That AW is a digraph, and it's working together to make the sound or. So in saw, there are 2 sounds, s, or. Let's do some predicting here as well. I wonder what he's going to do here. Now I'm thinking about my prior knowledge, and if I see a beetle, I know the first thing I do is find a shoe, and I would probably squish it because Miss Branch doesn't like insects very much. The beetle went on about its business. It had no idea what was about to happen. Ooh, I've just spotted a really interesting word, about. Let's have a look at the word about. So the word about has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters. Let's see if we can break it up into its separate speech sounds. A, b, ow, t. 4 sounds. So in the word about, there's a digraph. 2 letters making 1 sound. Let's investigate the word about. All right, on to word number 3. This word is about. So I'm going to start by writing it out. Perfect. Now let's break the word about up into its separate sounds. A, b, ow, t. A, b, ow, t. About has got 4 sounds. Now the A is a graph making an at sound. The B is making a B sound, a graph. The OU is working together here. So that's a digraph and it's making an ow sound. Then the T. Well done. All right, back to reading. Stefan lifted his shoe higher, but suddenly a thought came into his head. I wonder what his thought might be. I wonder if you can predict what his thought might be. I'm going to give you some time now to think about what his thought might be. Where was the beetle going anyway? To which corner of the garden? And what for? Some great questions by Stefan. If I drop my shoe, thought Stefan, the day will go on just the same, except for one small thing. I wonder if you know what that one small thing is. So he put down his shoe and laying in his head, I'm going to go back and reread that. So he put down his shoe and laying his head on the ground, I like the word laying there. Let's investigate the word laying. So let's break laying into its separate speech sounds. U, a, I, 4 sounds. Let's investigate that word. And the last word we're going to look at is laying. So I'm going to start by writing lay. Fantastic. Now let's break laying into its separate sounds. So I'm going to start with U, A. I can't hear a Y, so the AY must be working together. A, I, U, A, I, So it's got 4 sounds as well. Now let's have a closer look. The U, that's a graph. It's making 1 sound. AY, we see this word a lot, this digraph a lot. You'll see it in play, may, day, hey. Okay, you'll see the AY digraph quite a bit. So that is making an A sound. We've got it, which is making an it sound. NG, they're working together to make that sound at the end of laying. So there we go. Laying has got 4 separate sounds. Back to you, Miss Branch. He watched the beetle walk right up to his face. It looked like a creature from the Cretaceous. That's a really interesting word. Cretaceous. Maybe you could research that word. A terrible Triceratops that lifted its glittering horns, waved its huge hoofs in the air, and just as it was about to attack, a terrible Triceratops that lifted its glittering horns, waved its huge hoofs in the air, and just as it was about to attack, seemed to remember something. The beetle dropped down on all 4 feet, turned aside. Oh, I like the word turned. Let's investigate the word turned. D. 4 sounds. Let's go a little bit deeper and break it up into its speech sounds. And slowly walked off, making its way to the furthest corner of the garden. The end. Now, this story was really interesting for me because it didn't have much of a storyline. I wonder if you could predict what was going to happen next. That's your job. Go and predict, or tell someone what you think might happen next for Stefan and the beetle.
Be sure to take a photo of all of your words that you've broken up and send them through to your classroom teacher on Dojo. Have fun investigating.